The frog habit and habitat, and the characteristic features, different characteristic features, and the digestive system, excretory system, circulatory system. That is the type study we will going to discuss here. First, the frog habit and habitat. See, nearly most of the frogs which are near to the water live nearer to water, and some frogs which are habituated to dry lands also. The Indian frog, mostly the common Indian frog, the scientific name is Rana tigrina. So it is also called Indian bullfrog also. The frogs, that is amphibians, are mostly poikilothermic anomniotes. Poikilothermic anomniotes. All of you know the term poikilothermic anomniotes. There is no amnion, that is the, see, in the womb of the mother there is the four extra embryonic membranes formation takes place: amnion, chorion, allantois, yolk sac. These are absent in the amnion, is absent in the amphibians. Okay, hence they are called anomniotes, poikilothermic anomniotes. Poikilothermic are cold blooded animals. All of you know this term, cold blooded. Again, I even though I am explaining, cold blooded is nothing but according to environmental conditions, surrounding environmental condition, there is a change in the body temperature, they are considered as the poikilothermic or cold blooded animals. Heterothermic animals also. Anomniotes, there is no amnion. Here the frog which undergoes to tide over unfavorable conditions, frog exhibits, say here, hibernation and the estivation. Hibernation, estivation. The hibernation is nothing but this is the winter sleep. During this stage it sleeps. And the estivation is the summer sleep. During this sleep they use their fat bodies in the body. Stored food is used by these animals, hibernation. And see, in wetland there is a formation of burrows. In that burrows it lives, in that burrows. And the winter sleep and the summer sleep is exhibited by the different animals also. Polar bear also exhibits, and the squirrels also exhibits. Different animals which exhibits this type of hibernation and estivation, and the winter sleep and the summer sleep. Mostly the poikilo, the warm blooded animals also exhibit this type of sleep, my dear students. Next, the habit and habitat. After our habit and habitat, next we will enter into the structure, shape, size, color. So how there is body is divisible into head, trunk, and the snout is pointed, and on either side of the snout there is a two eyes which are located. The two eyes which are covered with a nictitating membrane when it is in the water, that membrane which is useful for covering the eyes. Next, the nearer to the eyes there is a tympanum, eardrum, which is useful for the listening, and it constitutes the hind limbs and the forelimbs. Forelimbs are nothing but the front legs, hind limbs are nothing but the back legs. Hind limbs and the forelimbs. See, hind limbs are longer than the forelimbs. Forelimbs have 4 digits. Hind limbs have 5 digits. Hind limbs have 5 digits. Sexual dimorphism, that is the sexual differentiation. Say male frog we can differentiate with the female frog, that is called sexual dimorphism is exhibited. So there are the two characteristic features we can differentiate with the male frog with the female frog. Male frog, the forelimb of the first digit which has copulatory pad. First forelimb lo first danlo the copulatory pad is present, and the vocal sacs, male frog exhibits have the vocal sacs. They are present in the vocal sacs are nothing but the near throat region, the vocal sacs. During rainy season they release the sound, that is the vocal sacs that exhibits sound. The vocal sacs are present in the male frog, and the first in the forelimb, first digit has the copulatory pad in males. సో ఇది ఫీమేల్స్లో ఆబ్సెంట్ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫీమేల్స్లో ఆబ్సెంట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రజెంట్ ఇన్ ద ఫోర్ లింబ్లో ఫస్ట్ డిజిట్లో కాపులేటరీ ప్యాడ్ ఇన్ మేల్స్. అండ్ ద వోకల్ సాక్స్ ఆల్సో. వాట్ ఆర్ దోస్? Vocal sacs are present in the males, hence we can differentiate with the male with the females. నేను ఒక డయాగ్రామ్ కూడా చూపిస్తాను మీకు కాపులేటరీ ప్యాడ్ అనేటటువంటిది. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి డైజెస్టివ్ సిస్టమ్. ద సిస్టమ్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ లొకేటెడ్ ఇన్ ద సీలోమ్ క్యావిటీ. దట్ ఈస్ ద మోస్ట్లీ ఆల్ ద ఆర్గాన్స్ వి కాల్ ఇట్ ఎస్ visceral organs అని నేను చెప్పాను. Viscera which are located in the visceral cavity. So that's the visceral cavity. First the digestive system we will discuss, respiratory system, circulatory system we will discuss. First the digestive system. It starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. Any animal it starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. There is a differences only the system which has the different parts, different organs, the different organs which differ with the one animal to the other animal. The frog mostly, so it's nearer to the human beings. Mouth enters into the buccal cavity, that is the buccopharyngeal cavity. Buccal cavity which leads into the pharynx which leads into esophagus which leads into the stomach. It is a distensible dilated sac which constitute the different sphincters. So they are the cardiac sphincter, pyloric sphincter, the sphincters which prevent the reverse passage of food from the stomach to the esophagus. The sphincters which are located and the stomach which leads into the intestine. In the small intestine there is a duodenum and the ileum coiled tube like structure. We are looking at the diagram. So that's the ileum which is the coiled structure that leads into the large intestine, the rectum, dilated sac which leads into cloaca. So here the cloaca is a common passage for digestive system as well as the urinogenital system also. That's the urinogenital ureters, the urinary bladder which opens nearer to the rectum which opens out through the anus. That is about the digestive system. Next to the, see here the glands. If you discuss the glands, the liver and the pancreas. Pancreas which is located nearer to the duodenum which opens into the duodenum through the pancreatic duct, and liver also, say here the in between the stomach and the duodenum, that leads into that liver hepatic duct opens into the duodenum, and it secretes bile juice, the bile juice which is stored in the gallbladder. So that is about the digestive system. So here the different glands are the gastric glands and the pancreatic duct. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contain different enzymes which are useful for, say, digestion of fats, lipid and the nucleic acids, and the bile juice which is useful for the emulsification of fats, and the gastric juices, intestine which secrete intestinal juices. Like that there is a, say, different enzymes which are produced by the different glands which are useful for the different purposes. Partly digested food in the intestine is called chyme. Partly digested food is called the partially or partly digested food is called chyme. Here these terms we confront with this, see, in the digestive system. Mostly we are completed the digestive system. Next we will enter into the respiratory system. That's tomorrow we will discuss the respiratory system, my dear students. With this we are completed digestive system.